As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
One of the worst performances of my career, and they never doubted it for a second.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
I believe there's a hero in all of us that keeps us honest, gives us strength, makes us noble.
You just gotta keep living, man. Livin.
Son of a bitch. He stole my life.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Welcome back to the Shot by Shot podcast, where today we're finally talking our first 2026 release, which is Sam Raimi's first original movie in 17 years with Send Help, which I was very excited for because Sam Raimi is my guy, and seeing him doing his first original movie, his first original horror movie in so long is very cool to see. Coming out is our first January, or it's technically a January release, even though the UK got it in like the 4th of February or something, but I feel like it's been a pretty decent standard of January releases. We've got, apart from like the Oscar movies that we usually get in January, the actual original 2026 ones have been pretty decent. What do you think about January and February so far this year?
I don't know. I've only seen, well, I mean, I've seen technically a fair few of 2026 releases, but that's just because of festival stuff. But I mean, Bone Temple, I thought was all right. I guess it's better. I don't know what were like the most January releases of January this year. I think it's like Primate was that's kind of a January release.
I really liked Primate. That was a cool horror movie where a guy's like he's in like an actual monkey suit instead of CGI.
Mercy?
Like,
is that Mercy
cool.
out yet, or is that?
Oh, Mercy! Yeah, that's such a January film. That is, yeah, that looked horrendous. Like it's meant to be like pro AI propaganda stuff.
Yeah.
That's killer. I'm not watching that. That looks so bad.
Anaconda as well.
And that
was last. That was a Christmas.
I swear
Yeah, it
that
was
December,
Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Okay, spiritually it's January.
Yeah.
It is a spiritually January film. Yeah, the RIP. I get Netflix. I don't think that was originally like film wasn't made for Netflix. Netflix just bought the rights to it, I think. I thought it was all right. Yeah, I don't know, everything's just okay, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah, that was made by Affleck and Damon's production company, so I'm glad people probably got a bag from that, but it was pretty mediocre.
Yeah, it was pretty mediocre. I know people like glazing all this is like one of the best Januaries ever, but nothing really kind of wowed me completely. I don't know. Bone Temple didn't. I thought was fine, and yeah, Sent Hope was probably my favorite of the lot. But yeah, I don't know. People were going crazy, but I can't remember what else actually came. Well, I know we get like the post like award season stuff, so like No Other Choice, I guess, like goes wide and things like that. But I don't know. I'm not really counting that, and it's a bad film anyway. So.
That's ridiculous. No, I think it was a good January. I think people are really leaning on Bone Temple for this January though, because it's like a big film. It would be a big film if it released in like September for the year, and because of like they shot it back to back, they've quickly released it in January, and that is of the only 3 films I've seen that released this year. Like according to Letterboxd, it's the best one I've seen so far. Very, very good follow up. Not as good as Years, but a good follow up. I think some of the artistic merit was lost a little bit, but to follow up on what was a very good sequel, it's in good hands with whoever's involved, because DaCosta did a really good job following on from it plot wise, and then the Rip. I said in my review, like if this is the gold standard for Netflix now, because a lot of people are praising it, they can be doing a lot better. I know they didn't produce it, but apart from the film looking fine for like a Netflix film, it's really average. I didn't really know what was going on a lot of the time as well. That could be like watch party like agenda, because I can't focus as much. But January for me personally was helped as well. I saw Sentimental Value and No Choice, and despite what Oscar says, they are very good foreign films, and it'll be interesting to see how many awards Sentimental Value gets. It's got so many nominations. I think it will pick up at least one of the actor ones. So yeah, for like quality of watchers, best January in maybe 2 or 3 years. I think not best ever though.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really remember what came out in other Januaries, but this one does feel just like decent, just because it's not. There's some like some good original horror. I know there's usually like the Blumhouse movie that comes out this month. I don't think they've really like had that stinker come out this year, so that helps. And I've not hated anything really that I've watched. I have avoided like all the obvious ones that are probably going to be like really bad. I'm happy with like Primate. Bone Temple was really good, even though it wasn't anywhere near 28 years later. In my opinion, it was still a solid movie. And then obviously Sent Help. I think I really loved that. So really elevated it, I think, for me, just those two really good movies. So let's get into Sent Help, because I really loved this one. It was Sam Raimi returning with his usual crew. There's Elfman in there, Bill Pope, all his usual crew, and first returning actor of because obviously he'd worked with her in Rachel Adams. He'd worked in Doctor Strange 2, but he said that she wasn't utilising that movie, which is very true. She kind of just came in there for a 10-second cameo. So he wanted to make a movie with her in the forefront, and that really worked here. I think her performance is incredible. The two performances here kind of do lift the movie up a lot, because I think they are genuinely incredible, which it's not often that I come out saying that really the performances are really the highlight, especially of a Sam Raimi movie, because usually it's his style and direction that you're gonna be like focused on. But that really says a lot about the performances in this movie, because I think they really were almost the highlight of the movie for me.
Yeah, I somewhat agree. You know, what's his first original film in like when was Drag Me to Hell? Like 2009, was it?
9, yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. And since then, what he's been stuck in the Disney factory doing a Wizard of Oz prequel that is quite funny to look back on, to be honest.
It's better than Wicked, much better than Wicked.
It is better than Wicked. It's a strange film. It is a strange film. And then obviously did Multiverse of Madness. So he didn't do anything in between that, did he?
No, that's it. Well, he done the
Damn.
Evil Dead show technically, but
Oh yeah, but TV.
yeah.
So it's nice to see him returning to this sense, and it's good to know that he's still got it. You know, this film is kind of flashy in the way you'd expect, and more trademarks by this, and like got some really extreme close-ups. Like there's some disgusting kind of swamping of faces in the frames in this, especially in the first act, in kind of those office sequences.
Tuna.
The tuna, but he does a really good job at framing these kind of really scared characters, particularly on O'Brien. There's a good shot of O'Brien. You know, we'll maybe talk about more later with like maybe one of the standout scenes of the film, certainly from a tension point of view. But like the close up that's there, you know, formally he still has it. I don't know. I thought the rest of the film was fine. Performances were really, really good. O'Brien's laugh was maybe the best part of the film. That was killing me every time. So funny. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was fun.
I very much agree. I think performance is great. The rest of it, good. Nothing stand out. I said before we started that I think this is just going to sit somewhere in the middle for me in like the end of year list. If I'm thinking about it, I think it's great to see Raimi back doing original films, and because I've not seen any. Well, I've not seen Multiverse of Madness. So I'm just not interested. I have heard that's one of the best Marvel films in the way that it looks and the ideas it has. And going from Drag Me to Hell to this is a big leap that I've sort of experienced as well. It's quite an odd director. I watched A Simple Plan last night, and to me, I know he's big friends with them, but that was just a Coen's film. Even like from a cinematic standpoint, I don't think many of his trademarks that you see in his other original films, like the Evil Dead films, and then Drag Me to Hell. I really consider him a horror director, to be honest. I know he's not strictly a horror director, but when I think of Raimi, I think of Evil Dead before the Spider-Man films, to be honest. And yeah, this is like a good dark comedy. It's doing like the power dynamic thing that a lot of modern horror seems to like. I like the way it explores the humanity of Dylan O'Brien's character in the beginning, and then when they get to the island, Rachel McAdams' character sort of starts to lose hers, whilst it's hard to read his character if it's genuine or not. The like reflection he's having on his own life, but they have a really good dynamic on the island, and obviously for what feels like a slightly long film, for me, it felt slightly repetitive. I think they do a really good job keeping it going with the interactions they have. I do think Bill Pope is not his best work, but I don't think it's ugly either. I just think it's really unremarkable. I don't know what you guys think of that, but I wasn't. I don't think I'm going to be like remembering many shots or anything from this, aside from like the boar attack scene, which I thought was quite strong and very typical of Raimi with the effects. It reminded me of Drag Me to Hell a little bit with the like blood splatters, things like that.
Yeah, there's not many like crazy shots I'd say that like you'd expect if you're watching something like Quick and the Dead. Like the way that you see Raimi's style is kind of those whip pans and split diopters and stuff like that. But this year it's kind of just like the when he kind of goes more into the horror. I mean, there's like moments where there's like dead corpses and some nice jump scares randomly to get you. That's more where I think like Sam Raimi's style comes in here. And I think it's maybe why audiences are maybe like loving this a lot more than I expected because I kind of I kind of see Raimi's style coming into movies the same way that like Shyamalan sometimes does sometimes, where it really puts general audiences off. Just when they actually see someone with their own identity or own unique style coming into story, like they kind of just get put off with the editing and the camera and sometimes the acting. I guess that's really helping here because you are getting those like two great performances lifting up the movie. So that really helps with believing in these like ridiculous story moments and blending the horror. So I was quite surprised that people are kind of universally loving this, which I think is maybe because Raimi's style isn't like quite like Drag Me to Hell level. Like we see like that, like you're talking about A Simple Plan. He's got that side where he can kind of like pull back his style at times in service of the story, and I think that's kind of what he's doing at times here. I would have liked to see it go a bit more crazy in terms of Raimi's style, but I don't know what did you think about how much of Raimi you could see in here?
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, he is a fairly maximalist filmmaker. I know in some cases more than others. Something like The Quick and the Dead is like just that's him just going full maximalist mode, and he's kind of known for that. And I guess sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I don't always want that because it reaches a point where I feel like, yeah, okay, but are you just doing it for the sake of it? No, I do love The Quick and the Dead, and I think it does work there. But no, I didn't. I think there's enough in here that kind of made me satisfied in a way that wasn't like over the top. And there's some really great scares in here as well. Like, the jump scares in here really got me. And it's nice to see that and the bits of gore as well. I agree with Daniel though that narratively I do think it's too long. You get to a point where I'm just like, it's just got such 90-minute aura, this film. It screams 90 minutes, and when I saw it was like 1 hour 50, and I'm like, yeah, maybe we can wrap it up there. But obviously he's got the government mandated Evil Dead reference in every Raimi film. The bit with the hand with the wedding ring on. But I think my favorite bit was the scene where She thinks, oh, who's the wife's, who's his fiance's name? Where she thinks she's walking out of the water, but she's just was she hallucinating? She probably was.
It's a dream, I think.
And yeah, that
Can't remember.
segment was really nice. But yeah, he always seems to need to call back to the kind of Evil Dead time. We do see it sprinkled throughout his work. Yeah, it's interesting.
And his car's in there as well. At the start, it's in like a car park behind the like office. The car, he
Yeah.
gets his car in every single movie.
And there's a Bruce Campbell cameo as well. He's
Mm.
Oh, in the
Dylan
photo.
O'Brien's dad. Yeah, I think he's Dylan O'Brien's dad, isn't he, in the photo?
I think.
Yeah, he's the
I
guy
think he
that
is in the
died. He was like the
photo,
owner
yeah.
of the company.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he's all, and I think there's a POV shot as well of the boar. I know that's not necessarily a reference, but he likes the Evil Dead POV shots as well. There's the underwater scene as well. Is it? I can't remember. Is that supposed to be like him hallucinating Rachel McAdams? Because when he's being saved, right?
He's hallucinating his fiance.
Or is
and
his
then-
fiance? Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, so that was a cool shot, and then the hand. So yeah, there's lots. You can definitely tell it's a Raimi film. I would just think I was more speaking from Pope's perspective than Raimi's. I think, just visually, especially when he's done films like Darkman. I know it was ages ago, but like that kind of style, I think it's a little bit limited. But at the same time, you were saying people are loving it. I think it's probably. Well, I think it's definitely his most accessible horror film he's made. Maybe not his most accessible. Well, it could be his most accessible film. A Simple Plan's really accessible, and I know he's done that like dad baseball film that I've not watched, but that looks like the most boring film I've ever seen, like
Yeah.
conceptually. But I don't know. Have you seen that?
I've seen all his movies. Yeah, I have
Is
seen
that
that.
like
I know.
one for the studio, or did he just like make that because he wanted to see it?
It's kind of like a studio romance. Like it's baseball for like half of it, and then it turns into like a classic '90s romance. It's a weird movie.
It looks pretty bleak. That's the one film that's put me off like watching everything because I've not seen The Gift either. But that's apparently
The Gift is meant to
pretty
be
good.
quite good.
Yeah.
I haven't
It's
seen
solid,
it.
yeah.
And A Simple Plan was the one I wanted to get out, like go and watch because people really rate that. But my favorite of his is The Quick and the Dead, and obviously that's not a horror film, so he's very strong with the non-horror. And I don't think Send Help's a horror film. I know it's listed as one. It's more like a dark comedy thriller, but I suppose the jump scares, which were good. I like the jump scares because people around me were getting good by it. I like unnecessary jump scares. I think they're quite funny.
He is. He's so good at the jump scare. Like, there's some in Drag Me to Hell. Like, that movie genuinely scares me so much, even though it's like mostly comedy. He just has like these random moments where he locks in and terrifies you. And like the sound design is incredible in that movie as well. He's really good at it.
Drag
He's
Me
really,
to Hell.
I don't know if anybody balances horror and comedy better than him.
Yeah, because Drag Me to Hell is quite light tone, but at the same time, it's like it gets really dark. Because obviously, there's really stupid scenes in Drag Me to Hell, and the ending scene is pretty stupid, but at the same time, like conceptually, it's really dark. And I think Send Help, it isn't laugh out loud funny, but the like Dylan O'Brien laugh and the fact that Rachel McAdams is obsessed with Survivor is such a like ridiculous inconvenient setup, but at the same time it does work in the context of the film. Yeah, I think he balances the turn really well.
Yeah, I think that's where you could cut the runtime from the movie, but I do like the Survivor setup, and it really, I don't know how it works in terms of audiences if they don't realize that she's kind of been training for this for years.
Yeah. Going back to kind of the Raimi style thing, the transitions in this film as well. Speaking of like Maximus stuff, there are some crazy transitions in here. Some really nice ones. You know, you get that scene in the water, where I think he's kind of hallucinating that kind of silhouette, and yeah, it's nice. And then obviously the one where right at the end where like it goes into the swing of the golf club um is quite funny. Yeah, I don't know, but I think it wasn't. Maybe I'm nicer towards Raimi about this, but yeah, it was nice to see that return to form from him, and I was pleased to see all of his kind of typical demeanors of his formalism, but at the same time, like narratively, I don't know, it wasn't doing a lot for me for the most part. We the scene where she pretends that she's cutting his dick off and she's just cutting a rat. That was crazy. And for a moment, he did have me believe that he was actually going there. But yeah, by the end, I was kind of like, I don't know, this, almost kind of anticlimactic. I don't know, maybe not as anticlimactic, just kind of right in the middle of unsatisfying and satisfying, where I'm like, yeah, it's whatever. I didn't necessarily feel a lot in that sense, and I think it's competent enough from a directing standpoint that I was happy with it overall. But yeah, it is interesting.
I think you obviously start sympathizing more throughout the film. As the film goes on, Dylan O'Brien's character becomes more sympathetic, not because he's like a good person, but because she's clearly becoming like more and more controlling and psychotic, and he's just had his wife, spoiler, murdered. So yeah, the ending is like very bittersweet depending on your opinion of Rachel McAdams' character. And the whole villa thing, I kind of thought to myself, is there going to be like other people? I didn't think there'd be a villa, but I was like, is there going to be other people on the other side of the island? Because I know what Raimi's like, that'd be quite a humorous spin on it. And then obviously there's the bit where they first go up that big hill, and she's like, you can't go over there. It's full of like thorn bushes. And I was like, yeah, this is very like. This is feeling Shyamalan twisty, I can't lie, because they don't like mention that place again for ages. And then obviously
much better though.
Same rate.
Actually, interesting. Do you think this or old?
Old is more interesting, I think. Old is
Ryan,
stupid. The writing's
I
terrible.
prefer this to old slightly.
Interesting. I think I prefer old on like all aspects. Well, maybe not acting actually necessarily. Even though I do think there are actually some good performances in that film. Oh, what?
I wish it was making me think
and
about Shyamalan the movie for some reason.
Somehow doesn't have mid-sized sedan, does it? So
No.
That's
it was making me think. I wish like he still shot on film, like Shyamalan does as well.
Yeah. His next film that unfortunately got delayed. I'm so excited for it. Is on VistaVision, which I think is, I don't know. It feels like we're getting to a point where there's like it's becoming this fetish almost. Even though his films do look really good, Shyamalan's films. But I think VistaVision's becoming like a good marketing point for shooting on film in a sense, because like people recognize that name and it's becoming quite a pull now.
I think it's more 70mm just made like formats more interesting. So then it's kind of allowed those people to go back to a more interesting format. I don't know if VistaVision and alone in by its name it really has a pull.
Yeah, interesting.
Like 70mm
yeah.
obviously does like now.
True.
I think
Interesting.
I think going back to old, if you gave Raimi the old script and you gave Shyamalan the Send Help like script, I feel like if you swap them round, Send Help's quite like limited. I think Shyamalan could make that really fun, and then
People
you
would
get the
hate Send Help if he done it because imagine they would be expecting the twist, and then the twist is just that there's a house on the
I
island.
feel like he'd
Like,
do something different. Though is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I think if you gave
okay, yeah. I
Raimi,
mean, if the movie was the same,
if you gave Raimi the old like concept, I think that would be it was so interesting. I do
Old
think
is so
Shyamalan
good.
could make Send Help more interesting, but I think
I
Raimi's a
agree.
better filmmaker though, and like the
Ooh.
even though I like old, I think the writing is bad and the acting is awful. But like conceptually, it's so ridiculous that it's entertaining.
Interesting. I don't know. I think Shyamalan's on better form than Raimi is at the moment.
Yeah, but he makes like 8 films a year. That's
True.
I don't know.
And he's still on a roll. He's still on a roll. Yeah, I just will love most of the things. I need to rewatch a load of his stuff actually, and I need to finish off Raimi's filmography. I still haven't done that.
Have you seen Quick and the Dead?
Yeah, I have. I do like it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
do like it.
Trap was like is in his domain
Trap
at the minute.
is-
Shyamalan.
I
Trap
rewatched
is
that the
excellent.
other day. It's so good. It's still so good. And I don't know, from a directing standpoint, I think that's crazy. I don't know. I was yeah, on rewatch, I was just so surprised. Even I knew it was incredible the first time I watched it, but yeah, even still, it just kind of took me back on second watch. Just everything. Those just the concert sequences are incredible. Really, really good. It's so funny, that film.
yeah, there's some. What Sam Raimi's have you not seen? Is like The Gift and stuff like Darkman and
Mine is The
stuff like
Gift
that.
and
I've seen
Crime
Darkman.
Wave.
Let's
You've
have
seen
a look.
Darkman?
I've
I
seen
have
Darkman.
not seen.
I'm not huge on Darkman, like from a plot point, but I really like the aesthetics.
I haven't seen A Simple Plan or The Gift or For the Love of the Game.
I have not seen For the Love of the
And
Game or Crime Wave.
Crime Wave.
Crime Wave is like ridiculously silly. That's like his actual code movie. It's like
Weren't they involved
have
in
you
that,
seen? Yeah, they wrote it. Have you
obviously?
seen Blood Simple? Their debut.
I have, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like a really shitty version of that, which I don't
Well,
know if they like wrote it before. It feels
Simple's
like
pretty serious though, in
yeah,
comparison.
this one's like a really silly slapstick version of that. It feels like this was written before it. It's like almost like a proto version of it, but I don't think it was because it came out after. But yeah, the
I haven't
writing's
seen
like the worst part of
Multiverse.
that.
I haven't seen Multiverse, but I feel I should just watch that in isolation. Screw it. I've seen
I'd
Gift.
watch it in isolation.
It's really there's flashes of multiverse and
It's a cool movie, and then
Good for
like
Raimi.
Kevin Feige comes in and like
it doesn't
forces
even
him
look
to do a
that good.
cameo
It
fest.
doesn't even look that good.
I've probably
It
seen the
looks
best bits
fine.
already on Twitter as well. Is the issue because people like clip it up.
It's still pretty bad.
No offense to Raimi, I don't have any intention of watching For the Love of the Game. I'm not interested.
I wouldn't.
The
I wouldn't
fact that
recommend
film
it.
was kind of like a sequel to a TV show as well is ridiculous.
But The Gift is the one I actually want to watch. I'm interested in that. What's that like from a Raimi convention?
I've only seen it once, so I don't actually really remember it. But I'd say it's more on the verging towards A Simple Plan
Okay,
rather
a
than
bit more
something like Drag Me to Hell.
Yeah.
That's like his first. Oh, wait, I think that's after Simple Plan actually, but it's like his really big cast and more of a studio horror movie than like his movie.
Yeah, because the Quick and the Dead felt like a blank check with that cast he got. That's a ridiculous cast.
The Quick and the Dead is so cool.
It's amazing. Is that his first like film after the Evil Dead's? Or
Oh, I don't think.
I know it's
so
Darkman. It's Darkman. Yeah, it's Darkman, and then Army of Darkness is after that. Darkman.
Army of Darkness is your favorite.
It's
Evil
my
Dead
favorite
movie,
Evil
isn't it?
Dead,
Yeah.
but my favorite Raimi is Quick and the Dead.
Still Spider-Man 2 for me.
Spider-Man's very good. Spider-Man 2 is very good. I think I like all the Spider-Man. I like Spider-Man 3.
W. Yeah, obviously Spider-Man's like at the top for me, and then like the Evil Dead trilogy is like rated like in the back of it, like not that far behind, honestly, most of it. And then Quick and the Dead is like I think one of the best modern westerns. Like just him like going crazy with the camera, and the cast is like this ridiculously stacked '90s cast. What was it? It's like Leo, Sharon Stone,
Yeah.
Hackman. Like it's ridiculous.
Russell Crowe.
Yeah, it's
Toby
so good.
Bell, Keith David. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And then outside of Evil Dead, I think Drag Me to Hell's like his best horror movie. I'd put it above Silent Help.
I would, I think. I can't remember what I rated it, but oh yeah, Oscar, what did you rate Send Help?
I don't know. I don't know. If I had to, if I was forced
Got a
to,
gun to your
maybe a 3 or something around
I
that.
kind of spiritually knew that, to be honest. I think.
I've even like privated my 2026 ranking.
Oh my god.
So like it's pretty blind. It's there are a lot of good films I've seen that's already on there, to be honest. So it's like it's towards the bottom. I think I'd have it above Bone Temple. It's
definitely would.
around the same level as Bone Temple for me, I think.
It's much better than Bone Temple.
Oh, I ain't no way. I think you liked it, Murph, right? Looking at ratings.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think it was like I think it's gonna be like a Quaid line film. I think it's gonna be like a companion level film by the end of the year.
The Raimi
like
Wall.
The Raimi Wall, yeah. Good quality test for the year, I think. Like if you're going above Send Help for me, you're a good film. Send Help's a good film, but you're a very good film if you're above Send Help.
Yeah, I'm satisfied with it. I really hope he gets to keep making original horror instead of getting thrown back into the MCU slop machine.
Yeah, because it's quite slow moving, isn't it? Multiverse is 2022. Has he got anything else like in the pipeline?
He doesn't.
I
No.
don't think so.
Not publicly.
No. He keeps on.
He wants-
I'm pretty sure he's like completely put Spider-Man 4 in the bin now, I think, as well.
Good. Yeah, good.
He wants to make a Batman movie. Keeps putting that out there, but nobody is
no
smart
one's gonna
enough to
finance
like
that, no.
give him a blank check for that for some reason. But
True.
I feel like that'd be like a Burton Batman sort of vibe. No one's going to finance that in this day and age, though, which is depressing.
James Gunn should be, but he's getting it to what's
Have
his
you
name?
seen the
Flash
Supergirl
director.
trailer? They've already ruined that on the second White film.
Yeah, the hype.
Yeah,
they
I'm
have
already
for
kinda-
that is crazy.
Browns and
Yeah.
oranges.
They'll fix it in post. It's okay. They'll fix it. It's not as if it's like already red.
In fact, Oz the Great and Powerful is a pretty ugly film from memory.
It is heavy on the digital. It is very
It's like
heavy. And I
it's
think
stinky for like 2013, but like compared to now, it's like
It's
it
better
doesn't
than
look-
Wicked, yeah.
yeah.
I saw that in cinema, but I barely remember it.
I
just remember it
did.
being really weird. And the black and white.
there was a really good
scene.
jump scare in the end of Oz the Great and Powerful, where
As it
the
basically
witch,
it basically
like,
turns into an
back
Evil
out
Dead
the
movie.
window.
Then
It does. That's just all of his films, though. Half of
Yeah.
them, most of the time, anyway. Yeah. Bill Pope. I don't know. He's washed, man. Just pack it up.
It's
Has
not
it
washed.
washed?
It's not washed.
He is washed. He's so look what he's been making for the past few
I've not
years.
looked, to be fair.
He's done nothing great in sort by release date newest first. He's doing that. He did How to Train Your Dragon, the live action remake. He's doing the second one as well.
Let's check the letterbox rating for that. That's
Oh, he did
Oh, shut
Quantumania.
up.
Oh, and he did
That
Shang-Chi.
film looks
Okay.
like garbage.
That's a
He did
3.8.
Shut
People love
up.
that, so he's not
Unfrosted.
washed.
Y2K didn't look that good.
People like
Quantumania, Shang-Chi, Charlie's
not
Angels.
familiar with that.
Like this lineup is
This is not washed territory.
This is so
Shang-Chi,
washed.
like the only good parts of Shang-Chi are because of him.
No. You guys need to watch Fire in the Sky. Now that is a piece of Bill Pope
I need
magic.
to watch
that
that.
is.
It's been on my watch list.
It's like the film's pretty good, but it looks crazy, and there are some terrifying sequences.
I've heard that's the scariest alien film.
There's like one sequence in particular. It kind of goes to like 1 from 1,000 really quickly. That film. It's all right, but I think Bill Pope kind of carries that film. But yeah, there is some freaky sequences, but no, it is good.
The guy that done Spider-Man, Matrix, Bound.
Baby Driver looks good. That wasn't that long ago.
Baby Driver's
Frozen.
it's not a very good film though.
Oh, you went there for that.
Okay, you probably loved it when you last watched it. So
I probably did love it when I last watched it. Good.
Well, I
thing
last
I'm not
watched
there
it
anymore.
6 months ago, and I thought it looked good.
he gets to get his Disney bag for a few years without being called washed. Respect.
It's for the
respect
studio.
him.
Well, I thought Send Help looked okay, and for like streaming standards, it looks exceptional. But yeah, I don't think he's washed. I think he's doing something for the studios, getting that retirement bag.
He is washed. He's been making garbage.
He's an old man, Oscar.
So is Roger Deakins.
So is
So
Danny
Roger
Elfman.
Dickens is washed.
What do you think of
Speaking
that?
of Danny Elfman, the score in this I thought was pretty good.
I like the score. Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot to mention it, but I saw Danny Elfman. I was like, yeah, the score was all right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I feel like it's one of those films where I don't like. I think it's more interesting to see it as Raimi as a filmmaker and his filmography than to talk about it itself. I don't have a ton to say on it. It
fair.
feels like typical Raimi. I don't know. He doesn't really do a lot of writing, does he? Has he ever written any of his films? Did he?
No, not as like the sole writer. No.
Yeah, I don't know. It kind of feels like they found the script and he wasn't really kind of involved in it per se. And he
Well,
was
his
just kind of
I
thrown in
think
by
it was a
studio.
movie that his production company was doing, but he loved the script so
really?
much that he like decided he was going to do it. Yeah, because
Fair
obviously he
enough.
does like
Well,
he
it
produces
doesn't-
like
it
a ton
doesn't
of
feel
horror
like that,
movies.
to be honest, which I don't know. But what was I going to say? I've completely forgotten. I kind of I do hope we see more stuff from him in the future that isn't Disney related, but it's good to see that he pushed for this to be in cinemas because I know that Disney were going to put it straight to streaming, I think, and
Yeah.
then 20th Century is it? Yeah, which is good.
Yeah, good theatrical release. I think it's made a solid. I think it's already made his money back. I think.
It's horror, so yeah.
Yeah,
Horror
but the
films
budget was
are
40 million, so it was quite high for a January
Yeah.
release horror.
My screen.
Yeah, I think it's already made its money back.
But to be fair, it seems like every screen I go to now is packed, which is good for cinemas. Even though the choice was full, and that's not like a very marketable film compared to other
Yeah,
stuff.
that done pretty well, I think, as well,
Yeah,
like financially.
you
but
got
yeah.
snubbed, but yeah. I
Hopefully.
think Send Help's good. I don't know if there'd be as much discussion about it if it was the same film but not by Raimi, to be honest. But obviously, as we've said, there are Raimi trademarks in this. It's not like it's clearly not a Raimi film. It's just it is hard to talk about because it's very like everything about it to me is just fine except for the performances, which are like excellent. And it's good to see Raimi back.
Do you want to get into our favourite watches of January?
Okay, so January, great, fantastic, amazing month for me. I feel compelled this year to actually stick to watching as many great movies as I can rather than just going out my way and just watching something that I think is going to be bad and it is bad. I'm like, it's kind of pointless in many respects. And January's that time where I wanted to change that, and I watched so many incredible movies in January. It's tough for me to kind of whittle it down to just 5. But at number 5, I have a film called Choose Me from 1984, directed by Alan Rudolph. It has 8K logs on Letterboxd, and I cannot believe it. It is an absolute gem. It's kind of an anti-screwball comedy in a way. It feels like that, but it's really, really unique. There's it kind of works against a lot of the tropes of those screwball comedy films, and it really dives deep into this kind of sense of movie logic. Like there's like a circle of connections made in the film between relationships, and it's a film about kind of impermanence and relationships starting up and disappearing and fighting and things like that. And I just found it to be so ingenious, and it kind of lives inside these coincidences that exist in movies, and how love is different initially than it is to marriage. And I highly recommend it. It's on YouTube. It is on YouTube. Go watch it. It's like 100 minutes long. It is such a good watch. It blew me away. Like I'd heard of it, but like literally all my mutuals that I have are like 5 stars. It's really, really good. I absolutely adored it. And I think you guys would love it too. Really great stuff. At number 4, I have Tsai Ming Liang's Rebels of the Neon God, a film I've been meaning to watch for so long. I watched a couple of his films last year. Goodbye Dragon Inn is one of my all-time favorite films. I watched the whole last year, which I named as one of my favorite things that I watched the entirety of 2025. This kind of like Tsai and Edward Yang are kind of the two kings of the Taiwanese new wave in the 90s. And this was is kind of is coming of age, but it's kind of the typical kind of slower cinema style. Lots of existential crisis and loneliness, but yeah, I don't know. It's exactly the kind of film that I expected, in a sense. Even though Psy has a lot of kind of variation in his filmography, but you know this kind of decrepit sadness and nihilism of Taipei and going into the 21st century is a topic that is really niche, but it's so well explored in a vast array of films, and I just found this to be another one of those. Just yeah, I don't know, these films are like, they're not sad in a way that is like manipulative, but it always does a fantastic job of using Taipei's environment as a city as building on this suffocation of character and emotion. And yeah, this is just another example of that. Really fantastic coming of age story. Absolutely loved it. And not like the typical coming of age story in that sense. There are a lot of kind of this is kind of built on a series of crimes that kind of slowly interweave, and there are a lot of kind of ambiguous character motivations at first, and there's something mystical about the whole thing, and obviously the title, I guess, is partially revealing of that anyway. But yeah, absolutely love this. Would absolutely recommend it to anyone who is wanting to get into Taiwanese new wave or whatever, because it's one of my favorite film movements ever. Edward Yang, one of my favorite filmmakers, as well as Psy as well, and I'm keen to watch more of his films because I think I've only seen about 3. But yeah, this is really good. Speaking of filmmakers that I've been meaning to get into more, at number 3, I have Clint Eastwood's The Bridges of Madison County. Another film that has been on my watch list for a while. Man, I do really not expect this to be as good as it was, honestly, even considering a lot of the people that I kind of engage with, mutuals and stuff like that, have just rated it so highly, calling it his best film. And it's nice to see him in a film that he directed himself that isn't a western, or just him acting outside of westerns as well. And I know Meryl Streep is somebody that I know, like, one of the most famous actresses ever, and one of the most, maybe the most acclaimed actress ever, awards wise. I think this is the best performance from her that I've seen. She plays an Italian immigrant, I believe, and it's about like recollection on 3 days that these two spent together, and it's about the kind of burdens of like American traditionalism and this way of living, how torturous and equally cathartic it can be, and the way it kind of divides this sense of freedom and love is really tragic. The way it talks about being deprived of love, but yeah, that's the way that we keep on living, in a sense. Really, really broke me. Incredible film. My favorite Clint Eastwood film. I do need to get into more of his films, though. It's kind of sad that I haven't. I did watch Unforgiven last month as well, which I thought was incredible. But yeah, this was a big standout. At number 2, I have Jacques Tournier's 1946 Western Canyon Passage. Kind of, it's been on my watch list for a bit. I just kind of chucked it on one night. It's on Channel 4, by the way, if you're in the UK. You know, I'd heard great things, but I was not expecting it to be the masterpiece that I came to. One of my favorite westerns. It's like it's a microcosm for all the kind of westerns. It's kind of inhabitants. It's core thematics. And the detailing of such world just kind of shrunk down a portion of its wider reality, and it somehow managed to kind of give us a cross section that is not necessarily overly stuffed, but just gives you the right amount of everything. It is absolutely stunning as well. Taking on these kind of more woodland landscapes. Than desert or even snow, and it completely blew me away. Yeah, it's just the movies basically, and an absolutely essential western, one of the greatest westerns that I've ever seen, and I will be watching that for years to come because it is an absolute joy, ridiculously good. But for my number 1 pick of the best thing that I watched in January, I watched it twice, that's how much I loved it, was Atom Egoyan's The Adjuster, which is a film from 1991. Again, it's only got 8K logs. Egoyan is a Canadian filmmaker who I've kind of fallen in love with. I watched his film Exotica last year, which was one of my favorite things I watched. I've seen it a couple times now, and I still think it's incredible. It blows my mind. This is equally so. I wrote a bit on this, but I don't think. I hate to be the guy who calls something Lynchian, but there's a real connection to be had between this, Lost Highway, and something like Abel Ferrara's The Blackout, which I think is such an interesting trio of dissection in the 90s of this kind of delusional white man, and they're living in their own realities. And this is another one of those, but Ogoyan really understands that a nightmare world is not something that is like completely separate and entirely fictional from our own, in like with like drastic different signifiers, but something that is like really subtly kind of uncanny. There are like little changes that you can't really pin your finger on, and this is exactly what this film feels like. It feels completely adrift. Each space in this film feels like it's in its own little void, and it is wholly deprived of anything good. It's an incredibly dark film, but yet it never really, it's not really that explicit in a sense. And it's one of the creepiest looks into kind of carnal desires that I've ever seen. And yeah, there's nothing kind of flashy about it. And I think that's what is most impressive to me. And yeah, it's been staying with me ever since. And it will for a long time. Got Elias Koteas in, who's one of my favorite actors. And yeah, it's incredible. Um, it's impossible to take it in all on a first watch, and I had to watch it again, and even on a second watch, I was just finding loads more stuff just to be creeped out by. And it is a really strange film, but the last like closing minutes are wild. But yeah, really unbelievable film. And I think only a handful of films would be better than that film than that I'm going to watch this year. But yeah, unbelievable stuff, and Goyen just continues to impress me. That is my favorite watch of January.
Nice. Do you want to go next, Daniel?
Yeah, I can run through mine. Very good month for me as well. I think I had 10 or more 4 stars. So I had to whittle them down a little bit, but my favourite was a 4.5. I'll start with No Other Choice because it's relevant to like the awards buzz at the minute, even though it didn't end up getting any noms. Don't get me wrong, it's not his best film ever or anything. It is very strong though, and I do think looking at the category, it's hard for me to say because I've not seen most of the international films that were noms because distribution is just terrible. But I do feel like it's been done quite hard done by not getting anything at all.
Did
I
you see
know
the
that
billboard neon put up?
no.
Like, you know, they usually have like the
Yeah.
for your consideration signs. They put like
Oh yeah.
F your consideration, like
Oh
after it
really?
didn't get nominated. Yeah. Even
I
though
know
it's
like
kind of their fault as well that it didn't get nominated.
yes, Neon are at fault, but like Park Chan Wook has a weird relationship with the film industry in America. It seems like.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not that surprising. It's sort of like Eddington not getting anything. It's not surprising, but I think Eddington. Well, I thought Eddington was the best film last year, but obviously it wasn't going to get any noms. For the film itself, though, I think it's his funniest film. It really leans into the dark comedy aspect. My favorite from him is still probably Lady Vengeance. That I've not finished that Sympathy trilogy yet.
That's
But
your favorite?
yeah, it's my favorite Chan Wook, I think.
Interesting.
It's really dark, Lady Vengeance. I think of the ones I've seen, it's as dark as Old Boy. Yeah, No Other Choice probably second, but for me, he's a bit of a 4-star guy. He's never blown me away, to be honest. Not even Handmaiden or Old Boy. But I've got to say for Old Boy, I didn't know the twist, which is like a big deal. So probably knocks a bit off it. But yeah, the film itself, just try and see it before it gets wiped from cinemas. The Korean. I did a whole like dissertation on it. Koreans are so good at class consciousness. It's such a big part of their like culture, that the importance of being a family man and working, and they continue to export really good films about that whole genre. Number 4 is Phoenix, which I saw very early in the year. German film set during World War II. A woman's face is very badly injured and burnt during the Holocaust, and she's eventually freed from a camp. And then you have a weird situation where her husband, who abandoned her and basically gave her away to the Nazis, doesn't realize that that is her wife, and he's trying to like train her to look like his wife for money purposes, and it all unravels, and the ending's like amazing. I think Oscar's seen it.
What's this?
Phoenix.
I wasn't even listening there. That film is unbelievable.
Yeah, so it's a
That
very good.
final scene is so good.
Yeah, it's one of the best endings I've seen this year. It's
You need
go
you
on.
need to watch more of Petzold's stuff. I would really recommend Transit. That film is incredible. I think that or Phoenix are my favorite of his. I watched his new film at LFF last year. I love him as a filmmaker, and Undina as well is really great. But yeah, Phoenix is really really good.
Yeah, amazing screenplay, amazing performances.
Mm.
Definitely, if you're into foreign films, try that one out because it's quite accessible as well. I watched Detour, which is very short. I'm going to look how old it is. It's old. 1945. Very short film. 1 hour 8 minutes. I just wanted something quick to put on. Didn't really have any expectations, but it's a really cool like noir crime sort of little thriller. Very sprawling to say it's only a short film because it's a lot of it takes place on the road. Looks amazing. Black and white. The script's very good. The performance from Anne Savage, she's really manipulative and gaslighting the main character all the time. You do feel quite bad for him, even though he's got himself in this terrible situation. Prime didn't mess up the. I don't think no Prime didn't mess up. Prime's been really bad recently for subtitles and the quality of the films I've been watching. I can't remember what film it was. It might have been Europa. That was YouTube actually. I bought Europa on YouTube, which is another good film I've seen. And it didn't have any subtitles. So I learnt my lesson with that. I'm really anything that's old, they try and like colorize it and it looks terrible. They do the colorized versions, or if it's foreign films, some subtitles just don't work. But no, it's on Prime. It's very quick watch. Only 65k logs as well. It's worth a watch. Evita Lone, I kind of just stopped with Fellini randomly, even though I was really enjoying him. Nights to Cabiria is amazing. Lestrade is amazing. This is also very good. It's my least favorite of the ones I've seen so far. And I've sort of been working my way up to watch 8.5. I don't know if there's any more that I need.
Have you seen La Dolce Vita?
No, I've not. That as well. I need to
It's his
watch.
best.
Watch La Dolce Vita before you watch 8.5.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I've been working my way to 8.5. I've seen Evita Lone, Cabiria, and Lestrada.
Yeah, I
Cabiria is my
think La
favorite.
Dolce Vita is a good next watch for him
Uh,
out of those.
Fellini's
Yeah, that's enough.
Fellini's very, very good director. I am looking forward to 8.5.
We
Is
had like a
8.5?
3-hour podcast on La Dolce Vita, like breaking it down. It's like it's
Oh,
such
There
a
you go. Plug it.
such a good
with
movie.
Marta,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
that's one of my favorite films. It's unbelievable.
He's such an amazing director, but at the same time, he's like they're so humanistic and so like they really translate to the modern like world. I'd say they are accessible. I don't know if 8.5 is accessible because we've got to watch a lot of his films to like I think appreciate it. But
It's definitely his least accessible.
you could
I'd say.
just
You can pinpoint the exact moment in La Dolce Vita where he starts to slip towards surrealism. That's like La Dolce Vita is
it's
like
so cool.
the turning point of his career, and it is genuinely one of the coolest things. That there's like a single shot that he moves away from this neo-realism, and his career takes that surrealist turn that it does towards the second half of La Dolce Vita and the entirety of the rest of his career. And yeah, I think it's one of the greatest films ever made. It's so good.
so
I need
yeah.
to
I'm looking
rewatch it.
forward
It's
to
been a
that.
few years.
Evita Lane is the weakest because there's no Giulietta Messina in it, and she's like I think maybe the best actor I've ever seen, to be honest. But yeah,
Did you see Laura Dern's like Criterion Closet video where she was talking about she was in a restaurant in Italy and Fellini and her came in and Fellini walked in first, like sat down, she came in and the whole like restaurant like stood up and like applauded her and
I
like
would
Fellini
say-
made like Fellini like sat down and like made her stand up and like accept the applause and stuff. It sounded cool.
I think it's between her and this is bad. I forgot her name. Gina Rowlands. It's between those two. Best performance I've ever seen. Her in Nights of Cabiria and Gina Rowlands in Woman of the Influence. Yeah, she's ridiculous. And I have got one more. My number one, well done, Oscar, because it was the first watch of the year and his wreck. His motorbike, her island. Still thinking of giving it a 5, so I probably
It's
will
so. It
after
is a
this.
5.
I think I've got to
It's
give
so
it a
good.
5 because I've been thinking for 2 months to give it a 5, and that means it is a 5. Maybe best romance film I've seen potentially.
Yeah, it's definitely up there.
It is incredible. The vibes are amazing. It's such an interesting, like the love for motorbikes. It's just such a cool thing. And then the bar scenes with the singing and the dynamic between all the characters and their like relationships in the past. And then the like sort of ambiguity, but the like ending. It's incredible. It's such a good film.
I know it kind of sets it out to us, but I know it kind of sets it out as like the black and white is him like dreaming almost.
Yeah.
And like the realities he wants to live in, but like that like kind of like begins to merge physically if we get some like the most magnificent visual scenes I've ever seen, where it's like portions of the screen are like moving between black and white and color, and it is a stunning film. Is it's so good. I'm glad. I want more people to get to watch it because it is unbelievably
You should
good.
just spam it. You just spam it. Recommend it, everyone. But yeah, the visually is incredible. The black and white looks amazing, and the standard color stuff looks amazing, and it helps that the sets and locations are so good as well. Yeah, best film I've seen this year by a mile.
Only 24K logs as
I
well.
know.
It's only 90 minutes long.
Is he the house director?
Is he? I feel like yes, he is. He
Yeah,
is. Same guy
so
made
that
House.
makes sense because House looks amazing.
Yeah.
As well.
Oh wow.
Yeah. You should watch it tonight, Ryan. Watch it tonight. It's so good.
I need to rewatch House as well because I don't know why I didn't like
90 minutes
that.
long. It's like
It is weird
the
House,
visuals
but
are
it
ridiculous.
Yeah.
It is an absolute joy, that film. I love it to bits. It was on Prime. I know there was a physical release of it recently. But yeah, you're making me think of wanting to watch again now. When did I watch it? It was last year, damn.
Was that your number one?
It was my number one.
Yeah. Nice. I also had a crazy month. I've been sitting here like trying to decide what makes the top 5 because there's so many like 4s and 4.5s. But I think number 5. This was actually like, if like I had looked at the movies before this and like said that it was going to make like anywhere near my top 5, I would have been really surprised because it is Die Hard with a Vengeance, the third Die Hard movie. I don't even really rate the first one that much. Like I genuinely quite low on John McTiernan. I think he's like a solid. Or before this, I thought he was just like a solid like 90s 80s action director, but like I never really loved any of the movies that he done. But somehow the third Die Hard movie is by far my favorite from him. I do think it's better than the original, which is blasphemy to say, I think, because it is generally the first one that people think is much better. But this one is crazy. I feel like I've been saying it with like every 90s movie I watch, but like it's just like if everything was just so much cooler. Like this movie looks amazing. The stunts are incredible. I know a behind the scenes video get put in our group chat this morning. I don't know if you've watched it, where they're literally like blowing up a whole corner in a street in New York, like for real. Like it's just in the middle of New York. They've shot down the whole road, and like there's like exploding cars and stuff. It's so cool, the behind the scenes for this movie. There's another one where like they blow up a subway car and like they actually done it. It's just like stuff that you don't see anymore. There's a car chase through New York where they're actually just driving through New York. Like it's just kind of the stuff that you just don't see in any action movies, and the standards are just like way lower compared to they were in the 90s. And it's like a blank check movie for John McTiernan, and I think you can really see like every like penny that he got is on screen somewhere, exploding or shutting down a whole street of New York or a whole section. It's really crazy. Some really great actions, 90s filmmaking. So yeah, maybe John McTiernan, I maybe judged him a bit too hard because he really cooked for this one. My number 4 is you mentioned Gina Rowlands. She isn't in this, but I decided that I had to get rid of my John Cassavetes agenda.
Yes, thank God.
So, so I watched The Killing of a Chinese Bookie, which is very cool. I think it's more of like, it's not like a straight up like, normal drama, I guess, to categorize these other movies like and Women Under the Influence and Husbands, which I've seen. It's kind of more towards a like genre crime movie, and has kind of, it's not like overly like genre stylized, I'd say, but like it has like a lot of elements that you see that have influenced some other movies. Like people always say Uncut Gems was influenced quite a lot by this, which I can see. Yeah, and Ben Gazzara is in this. I think he's amazing as the lead. It's like it's just got such a unique kind of like vibe to it. It's a really low budget like 70s movie, and they all kind of have this like really grainy feel, and like the sound. I mean, the sound is kind of like sound design's like not very good, but like it's such a unique feel to it, just in this like really independent 70s style. And it's got these like really like vibrant club neon lights that are always lighting his scenes that I think look amazing. Yeah, it's definitely my favorite Cassavetes. Hopefully, he can continue to impress me with possibly returning back to the Women Under an Influence and some of his other movies, because I need to see the Gina Rowlands performances that everybody calls like the best ever.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so. And don't watch it with other people.
Yeah, this wasn't a good idea.
Not a good idea.
This next one though was a good watch party idea, because I watched for my number 3 The Doom Generation by Greg Araki, which is like crazy. Like it's like one of the most 90s films you see, but it's like in such a great way. It's very nihilistic. It's just this like, I don't know, you could slag it that it was saying that it's like, it very feels like just like made by like a 90s teenager, but it's great because it feels like that. It's so kind of like he's got his movie coming out. Is I Want Your Sex coming out this year, or did it get delayed? Yeah,
No,
I mean it's gonna be like nothing stylistically like that, but it's got like such a like 90s distinct feel to it, where he's like, I don't know, it's so beautiful, the colors in this movie, and it goes in such a crazy way. I don't even really want to spoil it because
is that the one with
Daniel
like
hasn't seen it.
the like American thing towards the end?
Yeah, the Fire Walk with Me.
Yeah,
I don't know if had you seen Fire Walk with Me when you watched this? It's like very much inspired by Lynch, I think, this movie. If you rewatch it, you'll get what I mean. It's like pretty much kind of taking out of
I think
Fire
I
Walk
had
with
seen
Me.
I think I had seen Firewalk with Me. Yeah, I had. I watched that like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd definitely seen Firewalk with Me by then.
Yeah, there's this like strobing lights moment towards the end, which really reminded me of that. But yeah, I think that's maybe it is possibly my favorite from him. I know Under the Skin, not A Mysterious Skin, is most people's favorite, and that might still be my number 1 from him. But I really love this. I didn't expect it to be up there as his best, and I need to finish the trilogy as well. But that's my number 3. My number 2 is it's kind of similar. But I'm gonna try and fit them in because I watched so many movies from Chaplin this month. Like let me count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I watched like 6 or 7 movies from him. And I'm gonna go with Monster of Verdun, which is one of his 40s movies. Which I guess because he started so early, started in like 1908, I think he shorts for. So like this is really far into his career. It's kind of like late Chaplin, and I did not expect the stuff after his silent work to be like so interesting. This is like, it's 47, so it feels so ahead of its time. Like it is like very nearly almost reaching like Psycho levels of controversy in terms of just being like this. It like focuses on like a serial killer almost, but it doesn't like quite go as far to be like as controversial as Hitchcock eventually does, or Michael Powell does in his movie in the 60s. But it is very feeling ahead of its time, being like so far ahead even of those movies, and it is such a far departure of kind of his silent work. If you've seen any of those, it's still a funny movie, but it is very more like in the thriller kind of genre range rather than Amy silent work. I like the poster. The poster says like Chaplin changes, can you? And that's very, very definitely what kind of movie this is, because it's very going away from his silent work, which was his like first big movie after. Yeah, incredible timing, but it feels so ahead of its time. I really recommend watching some of his silent work, or some of the stuff after his silent work. And I'd also put Limelight in there. That comes after this. That is his final, his final work in America, because he started to get called a communist and they kicked him out of America after this. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. The behind the scenes stuff to these movies are quite interesting as well, just because of that, because of the American government. They don't like him very much. So yeah, that's my number 2. My number 1 is Modern Times, which I think is definitely his masterpiece. I could see this going up to 5 for me. I'd put this on my favorites list. I also watched, like, I'd recommend watching like all of his silent work up to this. He has like 5 or 6 features, and obviously a bunch of short films before that, which I watched a few of them. But I watched The Kid, The Gold Rush, The Circus, City Lights, and then The Great Dictator, obviously. And I think it's beneficial to watch those before this, because this is like it does work on its own, because I know like a lot of people watch this as like as like intro to Chaplin, but I do think there's something quite satisfying about watching the character that he builds, even though it's not like sequels of each other. He does play the same character in all these movies, so it's an interesting kind of like conclusion to that. And the end of this movie is one of my favorite endings ever. It's so cool the way he kind of like builds on all those past films and concludes like the end of the silent era, because this is like 36, so it's like 6 years or something into the talkies, so he's kind of like seen his past it, but he's still working those silent movies, so it's kind of interesting the way he plays around with that as well. Definitely lives up to the hype, this movie, Modern Times. I'd really recommend it. So yeah, that's my number 1.
Kind of tragic. I haven't seen a single Chaplin film. I need to change that.
Yeah, that's what I was fixing this month. Because
my priority list is so long this year, though. I've just got so much I want to dive into. I can't wait. But yeah, it's gonna be a good year, I feel, for new releases for me.
Yeah, you're kind of surprised how much I loved them, because I almost went in with almost an agenda about Buster Keaton being like clear of him, just from like the movies I'd seen from them already. But I might even like Chaplin more than Keaton after rewatching or watching all his movies. It's very close. Very different guys, although they get compared quite a lot. But yeah, love them both. So yeah, any last thoughts on anything?
I like films.
Yeah, I agree.
It got moved to a 5, by the way. So there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, you move it. Nice. I might move Modern Times up to a 5. I might watch it again. But yeah, that is our review on Silent Help and what we've been watching in January. So yeah, we'll be back next week for that. See you.